to Imagine Your Story, Augusta-Richmond County Public Library Summer Reading Program 2020. Today let's look at stories that could well become moving moments. Gussie Mary is part of the Packhorse Library Project in Kentucky and lends books to patrons in the hills and hollows around the town of Troublesome Creek. The books bring joy to their readers and escape from the bone-breaking work and ceaseless hunger that stalks both young and old in these remote places. The bookwoman has more than her share of troubles, too. Her greatest trouble is being a blue, possibly the last, a person whose skin is naturally blue. Her neighbors are repelled by this and shun Gussie, leaving her to live an isolated existence where she battles loneliness and fear. Given a chance to change her color, Gussie takes the risk. Will she find acceptance as white, or will it take all her grit and strength to accept herself and change her life? Readers will cry for Gussie on every step of her difficult journey. The book is a very detailed look at a time and place that is unforgettable. Don't forget to read this book through your RB Digital account through the Augusta-Richmond County Library Service. Set up your account today to receive free ebooks, magazines, and audiobooks. The Giver of Stars, Jojo Moyes. Booklist states, when Alice marries the charming, athletic Bennett Van Cleve, she imagines bustling city life in America, so unlike her staid English existence. But when she gets to Baileyville, Kentucky, she finds her peers are suspicious and gossipy. Her house is a shrine to Bennett's late mother, and her father-in-law sleeps in the room next door. Desperate and lonely, she surprises herself by volunteering to help with the new Baileyville Packhorse Library, run by the indomitable Marjorie O'Hare, who has an unsavory reputation as a moonshiner's daughter, though no one dares say it to her face. Of course, spreading education and information, especially to the womenfolk, threatens the man who runs the coal mine, Alice's father-in-law. Available through RB Digital and curbside pickup. Over the Plain Houses, Julia Franks. Library Journal writes, this riveting debut novel is both a portrait of a dysfunctional marriage and the tale of one woman's journey to freedom and redemption. Set in the mountains of North Carolina in 1939, it introduces Irene Lambie, who is trapped in a destructive relationship with her husband Brodus. While a well-respected preacher in his community, Brodus is quickly revealed to be a controlling, violently abusive tyrant in private. Irene's misery is abated somewhat by the arrival of independent-minded Virginia Furman, an agent for the Department of Agriculture who is sent into the mountains to help families modernize their homes and farms. Through nightly wanderings in the woods and in her friendship with Virginia, Irene finds happiness and for the first time envisions what her life would be like free of her husband. Eventually, Brodus discovers her trips and convinces himself that she is a witch. Afraid for himself and believing that he is ultimately saving his marriage, Brodus commits an unimaginable act that leaves the entire community reeling. The Cove, Ron Brash. Publishers Weekly Prints. Located near the hard-scrabble village of Mars Hill, the Cove is shrouded in superstition, a place where ghosts and fetches wandered. Nearby, the alienated Laurel Shelton lives with her wounded war veteran brother in an isolated cabin. While out doing laundry by the creek one day, Laurel discovers Walter Smith, an illiterate mute flautist en route to New York City, who has been incapacitated by hornet stings. As she nurses the mysterious Walter back to health, Laurel begins to fall in love. Waiting for her life to begin, she clings to Walter and the future he represents. However, local Army recruiter Chauncey Feth threatens to ruin all that Laurel and Walter hope for. A rabid anti-German agitator, he begins to suspect that Walter is not who he claims to be. Driven by fear, patriotism, and bloodlust, Chauncey progresses from arrogant drunk to a craven yet dangerous force. The gripping plot, gothic atmosphere, and striking descriptions, in particular of the Dismal Cove, make this a top-notch story of an unusual place and its fated and fearful denizens. Home for Erring and Outcast Girls by Julie Kibler. Booklist says Kibler's sophomore effort is based on a real place in turn-of-the-century Texas, the Baracha Industrial Home, a sanctuary for ruined women. Lizzie Bates and Mattie McBride seek refuge there in 1905. Lizzie has a young daughter in a drug habit, while Mattie mourns the death of her son and her abandonment by the child's father. They form a strong, though at times tempestuous bond that lasts decades as they each attempt to start over. Mattie by building a life outside the Barrett-Shaw home, and Lizzie by remaining at the sanctuary. In alternating chapters set in 2017, librarian Kate Sutton uncovers historical records from the home, and the research dredges up memories from her upbringing in a conservative Christian household, forcing her to confront the ghosts of a 2 decades old trauma. And there are our books for memorable moments. We hope you take a look at them this summer and that you have fun in reading them. Please come by your library to get these books through curbside service or by the RB Digital Book Service. Thank you.